Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the round 17 game preview. It is the Fremantle Dockers against the Carlton Blues. My name is Amal. Joining me tonight, we have Andy, Mus, Carl, and we are the Monday Blues. Mus, how you doing?
Good, mate. Good. Very excited, actually. Up and about.
It's a big week. It's a big week for the Baggers. Andy, how are you feeling?
Better than last week, but still very wary.
Yes, I understand that feeling. And Carl?
Very tired. Nah, I feel all right, man. I'm pumped.
It's an exciting week. It's an exciting week. Now, looking back, Carlton have obviously they haven't put themselves in the greatest position starting off the second half of the year, irrespective of the last two wins. Now, we obviously could have been in a better position, but we are where we are. 6 wins and a draw, while Fremantle is sitting at 7 wins. So we're not too far off each other on the ladder, but nonetheless a massive game coming up. If Carlton get the win, we go 2 points. 2 points off the top 8. And if we lose, we heap on the pressure that we had in the first half of the season on us. Finals is still in play, even if we do lose, but then we've got a massive test in Port Adelaide the week after. And it doesn't get any easier after that. We've got a lot of the top 8 sides that we'll have to play and beat. So, without further ado, we'll kick in with the team lineups. Now, outs for this week: Ed Curnow and George Hewitt have been omitted from last week's side.
Oh my God, no.
Andy, you obviously seem pretty pleased about that selection call. Talk us through it.
Absolutely. Look, Cottrell in, Ed out. It's a non-negotiable, bro. It had to happen. That's all I got to say, man. Like, Ed out. Thank you for your service, bro. You're a depth player at best, at absolute best. And that's it. Let's just, move on. I think we've spent a bit of time on Ed in the last couple of shows. So, I think we just move on. Look, give him a break.
Well, he called it. He couldn't make the flight. He can't go that far.
Well, look, he's still every chance to be the emergency, to be the sub. Sorry, he's still on the emergency list along with George Hewitt, who was also admitted. He was the sub last week. So, one of George Hewitt, Lockie Cohen, Jesse Motlop, or Ed Curnow will be named as the sub for the team travelling to Perth to take on the Dockers. But very, very happy that Cottrell's back in the side. He brings much needed pace onto the wing, which Curnow and we talked about it in the review last week, like he just looked so far off the pace. Isn't that right, Carl?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Not only I'm happy that he's out, like Andy said, he's, way past you. But Cottrell not only brings speed, he brings toughness to the contest, something we need. And we need that against Freo because they're a quick team.
Yeah. Not only do we need that because they're a quick team, but there's also some other dilemmas that the Baggers will need to face at Optus Stadium on Sunday. Now, looking at the backline for Carlton, we've got it's unchanged from the last 2 weeks. Brodie Kemp, Jacob Wiedering, Nick Newman, Jordan Boyd, Mitch McGovern, and Adam Sard. And they'll be taking care of Michael Frederick, Luke Jackson, Lockie Schultz, Josh, Treacy, Jai Amiss, and Michael Walters. I'm pretty comfortable with that. How do you feel about that?
The one. Sorry, man. Jai Amiss has been in some serious form lately. So I think whoever gets him has a lot like a big job coming. Sorry, Mus.
Yeah. No, you're right. My look, we talked about it last week. That back line, that's solid. That's our back line. My only concern probably is if they stretch us with a bit of height. You know, Jackson falling in there, and then Darcy if he pushes forward as well. Just the height. Other than that, we should be able to run them off their feet. I think it's probably our best 6
for the back line.
Yeah. The only question mark for me probably, and it still sort of stands, and I've had this question mark the whole year, is Mitch McGovern. Mitch McGovern's best is pretty good. He links up. He does all the good things. He gets in the right space. He's got a good footy brain, but he does a lot of silly things sometimes. And you get 2 or 3 every single game, and they're always at crucial times, and it evidently costs us goals. So
Yeah, it's where he makes his mistakes.
That's my only sort of, if I was to critique the defence, it's probably that. But yeah.
Yeah. You've mentioned that, and now you've got me a little nervous because I don't think Mitch McGovern has not made those mistakes over the last 2 weeks. I think we've just gotten away with it because it was the Gold Coast and the Hawks who aren't playing, good footy at the moment. Will these mistakes that they're expected of Mitch McGovern, and look, any player realistically, but given how attacking Mitch McGovern can be when he does have the ball, he chooses to be more offensive with his players and everything more often than defensive. How badly is are his mistakes going to cost us? That's the real question mark above Mitch McGovern at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Richmond made us pay for his mistakes early on.
Oh,
I think that was like peak McGovern. That round one game, and he did some good things again that game. He does that, but he's brutal when he makes a mistake. It's not just a mistake on the wing or man. It's 25 meters out from goal. So
that hurts.
Unfortunately, it's just come like Moore said. We expect it.
Fremantle's going to bring that pressure.
100%.
So, yeah,
they need to win. They need to win just as much as we do, if not more. So
yeah. The centre line for Carlton: Blake Acres, Paddy Cripps, Sam Walsh, and the followers: Lewis Young, Adam Chera, and Sam Doherty. For Fremantle: Liam Henry, Caleb Sarong, Jordan Clark, and following Sean Darcy, Andy Brayshaw, Jaeger Amira. That is a solid midfield for both teams. I think that's where the battle's going to be won.
Yeah. That's why having no ruck is going to hurt us. That's why the midfielders are going to have to put in overtime and try and do what they need to do, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is something that we should probably spend a bit of time on, because I think this is definitely where the game's going to be won. We're not going to win the ruck battle at all.
No.
We're going against the best ruckman in the competition at the moment in Sean Darcy.
Yeah, agreed.
And then the backup ruck is Luke Jackson, who's just as tall. We've got Lewis Young.
That's where Silvani and Lewis Young have to just outwork them. If you're not going to beat them, you're not going to beat them in the ruck. Okay, become the next midfielder. Become an extra mid. Run them off their feet.
Yep.
Just do that. Silvani is slow, but he can run all day.
Yeah.
Lewis Young, same thing. He can run. So just drag them around, just as far as you can. You take them from full forward to full back, from full back to full forward. Each one of you, just run them. So at least minimize their impact around the grounds, because our mids are good enough to win the contest in the middle. So I think, I think once it's won out of the middle or lost, we need to really outwork them.
Yeah, good point. I think you almost don't compete as a ruckman. I think you just put a body on and react to where the ball's going to drop and use that, like you say, that ruckman as a mid. I mean, Silvani can put a body on, and Young's very sort of agile as well. So, yeah, it's sort of what happened last week. They did the same thing. So, better competition this week, but it'd be interesting to see exactly how it does play out.
I can't remember what team it was, but they literally lost their ruckman, and the backup ruck wasn't even competing. He was literally just staying down.
Waiting down.
The life of me, I can't remember which team, but they did it at 5-10 contests around the grounds. So
our midfielders have just got to set up.
It can work. Yeah, it can work.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
I think we just need to play more of a defensive midfield game this week, and we know that's defense, running defensively isn't our strong suit for the midfield.
Not at all.
It's a big test. It's a big test.
Yeah. Yep. Forward line for Carlton: Lockie Fogarty, Charlie Curnow, Matthew Always, David Cunningham, Harry Mackay, Jack Martin. Going up against the Fremantle backs, which are Brennan Cox, Alex Pearce, Hayden Young, Braden Walker, Luke Ryan, and James Aish. I can't fault that forward line either. I think Harry Mackay's coming back into some form. Charlie Curnow was quite good last week before he was accidentally subbed off. Yeah, I don't know about that one. But one who's really, really impressed me is Lockie Fogarty in his last 2 games.
Yeah, his pressure's amazing. That tackling pressure he brings across the forward line, the way he sets up as well is just we've actually missed that. We need that.
Yeah.
So I hope he stays on the park.
I think he will. I think he's done enough to earn his spot.
Has he?
I mean, yeah, who knows? Ed's still on the list. Sorry, man. We got to stop harassing this bloke. Surely, at this point, it's bullying and harassment.
No, we don't condone that behaviour.
We don't condone bullying and harassment.
No,
we love you,
not.
Ed.
Sorry, Ed.
Love you, Ed.
I think this is our best forward line. This is our best forward line I've probably seen
Oh no!
for a long time.
Yeah, agreed. I just love Jack Martin in there.
Yeah.
That footy IQ, that just, man, this is finally what we knew he was able to do, and he's doing it on one calf at the moment. So, is it a contract year? I feel like it is. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But the addition of David Cunningham, Jack Martin, and Lockie Fogarty into the forward line, it's huge. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think anyone expected Cunningham to do what he's done over the last 2 weeks. And look, I know it was only Gold Coast and it was only the Hawks, but nevertheless, he's added another layer to our forward line that we haven't really seen from the three smalls that we had in Always, Durden, and Motlop.
So one thing Cunningham adds is
he kicks goals.
Poise. He adds poise. So early in the game, it was raining. It was really wet. I think our first goal came because David Cunningham was the first player to be able to just get the ball and just hit the target.
Yep.
Not a grubby kick. Nothing fancy. Just clean and poise. Yeah. And that's what we've missed.
That's what he's known for, though. He's clean.
Martin does that so much as well. We noticed that, I think, the week before Fogarty came in, Martin was doing that as well. So I think if you put both together, wow, that forward line.
Composure.
So that leaves question marks for me, because we spoke a couple of weeks ago in our mid-season review, and we had Fisher in that forward line. And I think Fogarty missed out, and I think we had Cunningham on the wing or something, didn't we?
No, I think we had Cunningham half forward.
Yeah, I think we did.
But we didn't have Fogarty. So does Fogarty supersede Fisher now, and is Fisher old news?
Yeah, because Fogarty hadn't played yet, I think, when we did it. So I'm pretty sure Fogarty came in after the bye.
Look, I'll put my hand up and say I had completely forgotten we had Fogarty on our list.
Poor bloke.
Yeah.
On the interchange, we've got Alex Cincotta, Matty Kennedy, Matthew Cottrell, and Jack Silvani. And for the Dockers, we've got Sam Switkowski, Matthew Johnson, Ethan Hughes, and Neil Erasmus. Cincotta, he's been brilliant. Cottrell will obviously slip into Aker and Walsh's position as a rotation, and Silvani with Lewis Young following the ball around. So, is this the best 22 that we can put on the park for Carlton at the moment?
No, we've got no ruckman.
No ruckman. Yeah.
Without
Lewis Young's our ruckman.
Put aside injuries and everyone like that, but of the players that we have available, is this the best 22 that you would put out on the park?
It's up there.
Well, Dow's concussed, so no. This is the best we can do, I think. And to be fair, team selection this week, we crack them every single week. I don't know if it's because they really don't have a choice because, the two ruckmen are injured. Dow's concussed. So there's nothing really controversial. We've won a couple of games. So the decisions aren't questioned. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good team. They've put out a good team
Yeah,
for what we have.
Kerner wasn't cleared to fly either.
I love it.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
look, it's a good team. It's just a question mark is when we're going to struggle in the rucks. Can we play that reactive extra midfielder role? Is it going to work? I don't think it will against Fremantle. I think it would work against Hawthorn, which we saw last week. I don't think it'll work against Fremantle, but we'll see.
We looked like we had extra numbers around every single contest against the Hawks. Now, I don't know if that was a result of not having no rucks or not, but can we see that again against the Dockers? That's the big question mark, right?
Well, do the players want to work hard enough? That's the thing. Because if they work hard enough, and you look, you know how I feel about Jack, but if he's a hard worker, so if he does his thing, there's potential there for him to really run down Jackson, to run down Sean Darcy. So if he gets enough help from the other mids, like the big body boys as well, who knows? Like I just don't think it's the be all end all. I think it's just it's scary because they're both great players, Darcy and Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, they're great players in their own right. So it's scary, but I'm not completely sold on, no ruckman and we're screwed. I think we'll be all right.
Interesting.
Next minute, Sean Darcy kicks 8, Jackson kicks 6. 6,000 hitouts.
Yeah, it's that midfield. Yeah, that midfield battle is juicy. I'm very, very keen to see how that's going to go.
Well, this is a test. We said, all right, was it going to mean something after we beat Gold Coast? We did it to Hawthorn. Now this is the test. This is the one.
Yeah.
So we're going to find out so much about the boys.
Because they're actually a half-decent team. That's why I would say if we beat them over there, then we can actually say, with no ruckman, it's huge for us.
Yeah.
It'll probably be the biggest win for the season for us, to be honest.
Absolutely. And only then will I start saying finals is a chance. Because then we will literally be 2 points outside the 8. Because one of Adelaide and Essendon is going to lose.
Unless they draw.
Unless they draw. And we've seen a few of them this year. But one of them is more likely to lose, and it will leave Carlton 2 points outside the 8. So it is definitely the biggest test that Carlton has faced this year. Now obviously, we've had a bunch of other top 8 sides that we faced, and in the first half of the season, we failed miserably. But this one is the one that can either put us into contention or shut the door, I think, on finals hopes. So dare I say that this is a mini elimination final for Carlton?
Yeah, agreed. Be spot on.
Big one, boys. Big one this week. Let's go around the ground and get some predictions. Andy, I'll start with you.
Predictions. I think we'll get up. I'm actually like, I know.
Hey, where'd Andy go? Where's Andy go?
No, do you know why? I just think we've added poise to the team. Jack Martin, David Cunningham, and that's what we lacked against the good teams. We lacked that. And the last 2 weeks, the boys have shown that they're selfless. You got Charlie, who's chasing a Coleman, all of a sudden, kicking inboard to someone in a better position, handballing to someone in a better position. And that's what was costing us games against. That's what cost us against Sydney. That's what cost us against Brisbane. That's what cost us against the Western Bulldogs. Like we didn't like. Yeah, I like what we've added over the last few weeks, and I honestly think we'll build on that this week again. And I'm not too fussed about the ruckman from Freo, so I reckon we'll be all right around the grounds, and I reckon our mids will get the job done. And I'm going to say a 5-goal win.
5-goal win. Wow.
Yeah, I just think our defense can quell their forwards, and I think our forwards will be too good.
Okay.
Well,
Leading goal kicker.
I think Charlie is going to have a bag. I think Charlie's the one. He's due. He's due.
Yeah, he hasn't had the greatest one in front of the sticks, or hasn't had that many opportunities. But his goal
Well, he's
kicking
given
seems
up
to
his
have come back.
opportunities.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
I reckon Charlie will kick 4, but I reckon we're going to have a few multiple goal scorers. Sorry, a few different goal scorers.
Okay.
I reckon there's going to be a spread. I reckon we're going to have 10 different goal scorers.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Interesting. Mus, your thoughts?
we do well against Fremantle usually. We play really well. We seem to bring it. We I don't know. We just seem to match up well. If history serves me correct, I think we'll get up as well. I'm quite confident. I think we travel well to Perth. I think being 3 hours behind, Carlton kick into gear. Being a little bit behind. I don't know what it is. Something happens when they go over to Perth, but yeah, I like our chances, and I can kind of see what you're saying, Andy, about the rucks. I mean, if we can get it done in the midfield, and your Youngs and your Silvanis can get a bit of body on and get on the ground and sort of get a bit of hardball, and then stretch them. There's no reason why Silvani can't push forward and be an extra target. So maybe Carlton, couple goals. It wouldn't surprise me if we come out and it's sort of a good contest, a lot of hard ball to be won, and it's proven, the last 4 or 5 games that we get a lot of the contested ball. There's no shortage of contested ball. We're not afraid to get the hard ball. We've lacked a bit of dare, and I think Cotters is really good inclusion. He takes a little bit of that risk. And having that stability in a forward line with your Martins, Cunningham, and now Fogarty, adding that level-headedness. And he touched on the forwards, for that little lapse that we had where it's kind of like they had Tourette's. Like it was just rush, not sure, quick, in, out. I don't know what it was. It was no, and they're good footballers, your Kernos, your Mackays, but I think they did lack that sort of stability. And you sort of said poise as well. So I think it's been great. And if we can lock it in the forward line when it goes down there and hit the scoreboard and hit it well, we probably will win by 4 or 5 goals. So I'm hoping that's what happens. Very hopeful. I like our chances in Perth. I like it. So that's me.
Very optimistic from both Andy and Mus. Carl, are you on the same train as them?
I was very, very confident in the start of the week, to be honest. But the ruckman now has got me a bit. How you going? That's why obviously it's going to come down to a midfield battle. But if we do lose in the midfield, this is where the defense has got to be on its A game, and we got to keep that. The last couple of weeks have been coming out of the defense real quick, using the ball on the wings. We've been changing it up through the center. We got to keep that flowing. I think our forward should honestly dominate their backline, because other than Pearce, I don't think they've got anyone that's great.
Luke Ryan's pretty good.
Yeah, but I still reckon that we've got better forwards that should dominate it. You got Harriet's been playing great, so I think they should kill it. Especially Charlie Curno's 100th game as well. Hopefully they get up for him. But look, I don't know, man. I think we win, but I think it's going to be tight, man. Like close within a goal.
Yeah, I'm with you, Carl. I don't know. I want Carlton to win badly. I know they can win, but the big question mark for me is, can they produce the same game they have over the last 2 weeks against a better side in Fremantle, right? Chira has been on fire for a long time, but even more so against sort of Gold Coast and the Hawks. He's stacked up, racked up possessions. He's gotten himself on the scoreboard multiple times each game. He's played off his head. Can Silvani and Lewis Young do what they did against the Hawks last week? Can Jack Martin and David Cunningham have the same impact that they have against the last 2 teams we've played? it's a small sample size, and because of that reason, I don't feel the same level of confidence as maybe Andy does and Mus. But I want to. I really, really badly want to. But one thing that we're all on the same page with is, the ruck battle is it's going to be 100% to 0 in Fremantle's favour, and it's massively going to the game is going to be won and lost around the contest with the midfield, and that's it. Carlton by a point.
After siren.
Carlton by a point. Jack Nunes comes in as sub, kicks a goal. It's going to be. I'm going to be stressed about this all weekend. Thinking
It
about.
sucks that it's right at the end.
Yeah, it's the
last
worst
game.
time, man.
Last
it sucks.
Yeah.
Any Sunday game just sucks ass, seriously.
Yeah.
Because these previews, we have to do quite late because teams don't come out until bloody 5 o'clock on a Friday. So I'm very, very keen to do a preview video next week when teams get released, full teams on a Thursday. I can't wait. And then, it also gives you time to sort of review properly as opposed to just coming onto a podcast and just releasing your emotions like we have the last couple of weeks, especially against the Essendon one.
Don't know what you're talking about.
But look, it's a big game. Like I said, it's a mini elimination final for me, and I really, really badly want us to win. But we've historically played well against the Dockers. Especially over in Perth as well.
I think we've had it over in the last few years. I mean, last year was 1-1.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't know. I just reckon we'll run amok on them. I think if we play keepings off and not go long, if we don't play the long ball and kick it straight to their ruckman, and we, use a bit of finesse and just footy IQ to get around them and keep the ball away from them, then I reckon we'll be all right. But as soon as we start doing long balls, we're done. They'll just eat it up.
Here's a stat for you. We've beaten them 4 out of the last 5 times.
Easy money, bro. Put the house on it.
That's worrying.
We've done that with crap asides too.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But does the added pressure of finals hopes for both teams cause either the Dockers or the Baggers to cramp up a bit and just sort of contract their gameplay or game style? That's my concern. That's the doubt that I have in my head.
And I hope not. I hope we're not doing this again. Where a bit of pressure comes and we just crumble. But if we lose, if we go out there, we lose, but we had a good crack, and Fremantle was genuinely just the better side on the day. But we could see we tried to emulate what we did against Gold Coast and Hawthorn, and it just, they were just better, and the rucks got the better of us. I can cop that, bro.
Yeah.
But if we play like we did, 4 weeks ago, then, we're back at square one, and the last 2 weeks means nothing.
What are the chances of Darcy and Jackson copping the flu Sunday?
Go cough on them.
Carl, the way we're feeling, let's go over to Perth.
Oh, mate. Give them some love.
I think we're past that. Look, I hope we're past that, Andy. I really do. I feel like that Carlton that we saw for that period of 6 to 8 weeks, I feel that it stemmed from the forward line, and it's a confidence thing that sort of went back through the ground. I feel like as soon as those forwards missed the targets, the hard ball, because we were still getting the hard ball, we were still getting it down there, and I feel like it was a confidence thing. And now that we've got four different forwards out of those 6, it's really just Curnow and Mackay.
Yeah,
that have stayed.
Well, that's what the issue was. Our small forwards. We said this from last year. They just went missing in games. Motlop, Durden. I know Always was injured for a lot of the year, but we just look so much better with a bit of maturity in the team. You know what I mean? A bit of footy IQ comes along, like Cunningham, like Martin, and all of a sudden we got players standing front and center of a contest.
Yeah, that's what I'm hanging on to. I'm hoping that's what it is.
Yeah. So honestly, I'm fairly confident. I don't think Fremantle has the defensive power to match it with our forwards if we're on. But we must take our opportunities. We can't afford to miss kick points. We can't afford to start the game 1-6.
Yeah, we're going to start off well.
You know, we need to start off exactly.
Yeah.
Look what happened to the Doggies today. They started amazingly. They just got eaten up. So this game's unforgiving. If you don't take your chances against good sides, they'll wreck you.
They'll eat you up. They'll eat you up.
Mhm.
And Fremantle is definitely a good side, especially when it comes to their own turf. And
Yeah, man.
they're going to have the home ground advantage. So, oh man, tell you what, I'm
G
excited.
up, boys. G up,
I'm
boys.
excited. I'm excited.
Exciting.
Okay, maybe we won't win by 1 point. We might win by 2. Let's see. I'm getting a little more excited now.
This is what happens. Every time we start our predictions,
Yeah.
all right,
We're nervous.
I go first, and then we go around, and then by the time it comes back to me, I'm like, nah, bro, 10 goals, easy. We got it. I'm G'd up.
Tell you what, confidence is like the plague, and it can go both ways, right?
It is 100%.
And you can directly relay that back to Carlton's first half of the season. We miss a few goals, and then all of a sudden, the lack of confidence just, as Mus said, right? It just flows through from the forward line into the midfield, from the midfield into the back line, and then all of a sudden, no one has any confidence to play, a brand of footy that we are starting to show now. Kick a few goals early, and then the Carlton of old is back.
Mus touched on something.
The Carlton of the new.
Mus touched on something last week. He said, I wish we had one more game to really gel and to really, before a big test like this came along. And I marinated on it for a good week. And you're absolutely right, Mus. Yeah. I just wish we had that one. I wish we were playing West Coast this week, just to really, get the blood flowing through Cunningham and Munn, because those two, for me, are the most important ins of our sides.
Yeah,
100%.
Right? But even Fogarty, even get some more game time in his legs, get some more some more nous about where your teammate's going to be. Learn the game plan. We have a brand all of a sudden. All of a sudden, it was gone 3-4 weeks ago. But now we've got. All right, we're running. We're taking on. We're running through the middle. We're taking that kick through the middle. And I just wish we had one more week, like Mus said, to just keep training it, because it's ultimately it's a practice. So win or lose, you're practicing a game plan. I just wish we weren't facing such a big task now. I wish we were doing it next week.
Yeah,
We're here now. Wishes and hopes are one thing, but we're here now, and let's just hope the last 2 games have really, really drilled into the boys what we're capable of.
Yeah.
Hopefully that was enough repetition for them.
Yeah.
Oh, Sunday, are they? 4:40 p.m. It's a big one.
2:20 in Perth, so that's 1 hour after the proper daylight game. I don't know. Do they get enough daylight hours?
If you're watching this and you're from Perth, so I've never watched the game in Perth. What's it like? Let us know in the comments what it's like to be an away, or to go for an away team in Perth and to live in Perth. Let us know in the comments, because I've always wanted to know what it felt like to live. It's such a football, centric place, but you were the away team. I mean, there's so many clubs in Victoria that everyone kind of has the home ground advantage.
Yeah.
So I think, imagine barracking for Carlton, living in Perth, and having to deal with the Freo supporters, the West Coast supporters. I reckon it'd be an interesting topic to get into.
It's probably just the Freo supporters this year. I don't think there's any West Coast supporters coming out of the woodwork.
I'll tell you what, mate. If I won a premiership 6 years ago, you'd still be hearing me, bro.
Fair enough.
Sure.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
This Sunday.
This Sunday, 4:40 p.m., gentlemen. The predictions are in. We're winning. It's happening, and the finals hopes are going to be well and truly alive. After Sunday's game, that's it. It's happening. Work it out.
So does the lid come off then?
After that, the lid's off. The lid's off.
Surely not. Surely
the lid's
not.
off.
We got Port Adelaide the next week.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
I've penciled that as a loss. That doesn't matter.
but the lid's off.
But the lid's off. Yeah, that's it. Gentlemen.
Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to Georgie. Couldn't make it today.
Oh, yeah.
Love you, Georgie. Happy birthday to Georgie's partner.
Happy birthday.
Yes,
Miss you, George.
Love you, George.
Birthday. And we miss you.
Love you long time.
Happy birthday. All right, gentlemen. We will. We'll see you on Sunday. Until
Absolutely.
then, sayonara for the Monday Blues.
Take care.
Ladies, gents.
Sticky now.
Yeah.